Okay, so what we're doing now is section 1.2. We're going to finish it up, solving multi-step equations. This is part 2. Go away. So remember what you have to do is you have to do the inverse operation. And remember additions with subtract, subtractions with addition, multiplication is with division, and divisions with multiplication. So you got pretty good at doing these so far, but now we are adding a step. So sometimes you're going to have to distribute. If you see any problems with distributing, you need to do that first. Then what you do is you have to combine any like terms on each side. So if I have like terms over here on the left of my equal sign, I have to put those together. And then we go to a problem that you've done where it's a two-step equation where you move what's not touching. Okay? All right, so let's look at some examples. All right, this first one. So I have a 2 here. So I drew my line down first, and now I'm going to distribute. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. And then I don't take the 2 to the 8. I just bring down the 8 and bring down the 22. And so now I look to see if I have any like terms, and I do. I have this negative 6 and this positive 8. And negative 6 and a positive 8 is a positive 2. And now I have problems I could do. Just to get rid of a plus 2, I minus 2. So 2x is 20. And then now I'm going to divide by 2. So x is 10. So you just have to do one step at a time. We will continue to get more steps, but you go to these basics. Find what step to do first and do that. All right, for the second one, I also have to distribute. But if you notice here, I'm distributing a negative 3. Do not leave that minus there. You got to remember to distribute that negative 3. So that gives me a negative 3x. And then negative 3 times negative 4 gives me a positive 12. And then I bring down my 5x. And now my things that it can go together are the x's. So this 5x and that negative 3x. That's going to become 2x. So 2x plus 12 is negative 10. I'm going to minus 12 on both sides. So I get 2x is negative 22. And now I divide by 2. And x is negative 11. That's it. Okay, so here to check your equation, same thing. Plug it in. So we'll just do this one on the left. We'll try one. So I'm supposed to plug in 10. So it'll be 2 parentheses 10 minus 3 plus 8 is 22. So you have to use your order of operations here. And so this is 2 times 7 plus 8 is 22. So that's 14 plus 8 is 22. And yep, we did it right because 22 equals 22. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is I would like you to try 1 and 2. See what you could do. Draw your line down, figure out what can go together, and then do your steps. When you think you're ready, press play. Okay, so for this one, you should have put the 2x with the 3x, which gives me 5x. Bring down a minus 4, don't forget the minus, equals 26. And now I'm going to add 4 to both sides. And so you get 5x is 30. And then I'm going to divide by 5. So x is 6. Okay. Number 2 looks a little harder because I guarantee you some of you are looking at that fraction and you're saying, what do I do? Well, let's just do one step at a time. Let's get our numbers together first. 5 and 3. So I get negative 18 is equal to 8 and a negative x over 2. Remember this, excuse me, this 2 is touching this x, so I'm not doing anything with that first. I'm going to get rid of this 8 by subtracting 8. So I get negative 26 is equal to negative x over 2. Now I need to get rid of a divide by 2. Now, I can move this. I'm going to do that. Let's move that negative. Where's my eraser? I'm going to move that negative and put it on the bottom because it doesn't matter where a negative is as long as there's one negative there, the problem's negative. I'm doing this so I can get rid of it with one step versus having to do two steps. So now I'm going to multiply by negative 2, and then my negative 2's are gone. And negative 2 times negative 26 is a positive 52. And that's it. If you wouldn't have moved it, you would have gotten a negative 52 is equal to negative x. Ooh, I don't know why I have so many negatives. And then you would have had to divide by 1, which you still get the same. I was just trying to make it so we had one less step to do. And it's a strategy good to understand that if there's a negative somewhere, it doesn't matter if it's on the top or bottom as long as there's one negative. All right, last two, you guys try this. Try your distributing, then combining like terms. Once you think you have it, go ahead and press play. Okay, welcome back. So if I distribute, I get 4x minus 24 plus 3x equals negative 3. I'm going to combine my 4x with my 3x, and I get 7x minus 24 is negative 3. I'm going to add 24 on both sides. Got to draw my line a little longer. And so 7x is 21. And now I'm going to divide by 7. And I know that some people don't like to do this line, but trust me, we're going to get to harder problems. And this line just helps you keep it balanced. It keeps things on the left. It keeps things on the right. And it's just a good strategy to use. All right, here I have to distribute two things. So it's going to be 3x minus 12. And remember here, I'm not distributing a 2. I have to distribute a negative 2. Change colors. So that's going to be negative 2x minus 2, because I take it to both places, equals 8. So I have a 3x and a negative 2x to combine, which gives me a 1x. And then I have a negative 12 and a negative 2 to combine, which gives me a negative 14. My line got a little crooked because it was a big problem. Now to get rid of this negative 14, I'm going to add 14 on both sides. And so I get 1x is 22. Now, you could leave the 1x there, or you can get rid of it. If I divide, nothing changes, so it's just x is 22. So you could stop here and just know that 1x is 22, but just remember it's the same thing as x. Okay, so let's look at these steps again. Step 1 was to distribute. Step 2 is to combine like terms. And then step 3 is to solve the equation like you've been practicing.